Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss about a very interesting topic, and that is interpersonal skills. Let's dive straight into this. Why does interpersonal skills really matter in enhancing one's growth curve? Well, the answer to this particular question lies in the role that interpersonal skills typically play to enhance one's life. Have you seen people who always speak more and listen less? Have you really come across people whose ability to articulate what's running in their mind a lot of times is a challenge? Have you come across people who a lot of times may not be as expressive as you expect them to be? Have you also come across people who aren't really as receptive to new thoughts and ideas, which means they are not really very open to change management as a perspective? It is a skill that we typically use in our day-to-day life. That's what interpersonal skills is all about. It refers primarily to communication between people, be it two people, be it three people, be it a group of large number of people as well. It could be personal, professional, or social. It is this communication which typically becomes the backbone and shapes the future of the relationship in any of the environments that I've actually spoken about. Let's get deeper. You can see the mind map that I'm presenting here right now. What is really the meaning of interpersonal? So interpersonal in its simplest form, it means relating to relationship or communication between people. So I gave the example of interaction or engagement between two people, like the way it typically happens in everyone's residences, or it could be a group setting. Whether you are a student, you are a working professional, whosoever you are, you have to always deal and engage with people. Even in social organizations, dealing and engaging with a lot of people is a very, very common affair. So your ability to communicate with another person defines how strong your interpersonal skills really are. Interpersonal skills are also skills that we typically use in our day-to-day life. And how do we really use that? We use that to communicate and interact with others, where we as individuals, we have to introduce ourselves. We have to make general observation about anything. It could be about weather, it could be about some political news, it could be about updates about your own society, it could be updates about the economy, or it could be any viewpoint that you are keen to express at any given point of time, or someone has really helped you and you would like to express your gratitude, compliments to that person genuinely. Or for that matter, it could be group setting, as I just spoke to you about. What are typically the challenges that connected to interpersonal skills? Some broad set of challenges that I would like to present that you can see on the screen on this mind map is poor listening skills. A lot of times people are there in group setting, they're not really listening, they're just hearing. I've seen this umpteen number of times in classroom settings. I've seen this at workplaces as well, that people are lost in their own mind because they're thinking something else. They are not very attentive at that point in time. And it generally has a great impact because other people perceive that individual to be like that. People a lot of times are not able to articulate their thoughts with clarity. So you have a certain thought in your mind, but what you are saying, you are not able to express that point appropriately in that particular fashion. आपने ऑब्जर्व किया कई बार ये हमारे साथ होता है जहां हमारे मन में एक थॉट है बट हम वो एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर पा रहे हैं उसी एंगल से. So that's one of the challenge. The other point is not being respectful. So a lot of times I've seen people with poor interpersonal skills, their ability to relate and connect with other people sometimes is low, and because of which वो दूसरों को उस नजरिए से देख नहीं पाते, and they are also not able to respect other people who are at various levels in the hierarchy. What about someone who is just a security guard? What about someone who is in housekeeping? What about someone who serves you tea, coffee more like a peon? Are you able to relate and connect with those set of people and understand and empathize with them for the kind of challenge that they typically go through in their day-to-day work? Because if you have that ability, it will take you to bigger and bolder positions in your career ahead. Number 4 pointer here with respect to challenges is lack of eye contact. A lot of times I see that people are talking, but they are not really meeting each other eye to eye. They don't really connect with people with a proper eye contact, and they're looking somewhere else and talking. So it looks very, very unprofessional, and the other person gets a feel saying, okay, is there something wrong? Why is he not really looking at me and talking to me? He or she is looking at somewhere else. And this shows very poorly about the other individual. And let me tell you, while a lot of people might think that this is simple, कईयों को लगता होगा कि यार आई कॉन्टैक्ट तो बहुत सिंपल है, but it has a very deep impact. I have seen it in a lot of management institutions as well. When students come and give their presentations, they are not able to maintain eye contact. And this is not something new. I keep talking about it, that you must start doing that. It is not really easy, because someone who has never done this, expecting it to happen overnight is going to be a very, very daunting challenge. You got to start from somewhere, and that is what is most important. Number 5th here is may not be expressive. A lot of times people are not able to express. Articulation is one thing, but they are not able to even express themselves in a proper fashion. They would like to use other modes of communication and stuff like that. They don't have a challenge, but somehow this typically happens a lot of times. Then the next point here is people get into judgments quickly. You've seen people who form opinions कि यार ये बंदा तो ऐसा ही है, या this person is like that person is like this. He or she gets angry very quickly. There might be situations where a person behaves in a particular fashion, but just because it has happened in a particular situation, that may not be an ongoing trend. So one has to just be mindful of that. Just understand that this also could be a typical challenge, and if you are going through this, you are in a better position to relate with what I'm really saying. And the final point in terms of challenge that I would like to share with you is people not being receptive or being open to other people's opinions and thoughts. A lot of times one might think that what I am really thinking is the best thought. However, what about the opinion of other people? They might not be really, 100% right. Even if they are 10% right in what they are expressing, you got to give importance to that particular aspect. Only if you are able to give importance to that aspect will you be in a position to understand and respect where the other individual is really coming in from. So here are my 10 mantras to understand and enhance your own interpersonal skills. Let's just get going into this. Number 1 is communication skills. Communication skills invariably remains one of the big barometers of how one can really improve and enhance one's interpersonal skills. And जैसे ही हम communication skills की बात करते हैं, a lot of times people think communication skills is all about speaking English. Well, that's not really the reality. Communication skills is much beyond that. However, one really needs to understand how it typically works. Under communication skills, are you in a position to convey your point clearly? Whenever you are communicating, are you able to express your point with clarity without going round and round, round and round? Have you seen that in meetings or in classrooms? A lot of times when people are not able to express, they use small words, they go round and round. Is there a problem with them? No, it's not a problem. It's just that they have not nurtured this particular skill called interpersonal skill. And if they are able to nurture that, their ability to express themselves can enhance significantly. The next point here is listen actively before you speak. When people are not able to listen what the other individual is saying, their ability to relate and connect and to take the conversation to the next level is always low. Because their ability to take the conversation to the next level is not that high, they a lot of time get lost out in terms of communications. Third point here is paraphrase. Paraphrase is a big skill, and if you know the art and science of paraphrasing, then you exactly know अगर किसी ने कोई बात कही है, if someone has really said something, then all that you need to do is use that communication, translate that communication in your own words, just to get clarity saying what the other person has said and what you are understanding. Are you on the same wavelength? Is there any disconnect, or is everything good there? So understand that point well. So what it does is it makes clear to everyone that you have not only heard or you have listened properly, but you have understood very well, because you have articulated the same thing in your own language, and that is where the real power is. Next is frame your text and email carefully in a professional manner. A lot of times when we are using write-ups, be it in the form of text messages or formal emails and stuff, just be clear. Probably reread that email and see whether your language, punctuation, text, is everything properly falling into the right place. If not, that's an opportunity for you to improve it. And the final point under communication is always try to stay positive, even in the most uncomfortable situations. A lot of times someone says something, people, especially with lower EQ levels, they start to imbibe those thoughts into themselves, and that impacts them. But if you are someone who comes really from positive frame of mind, things become much easier, much sorted for you, and you are able to express yourself effectively. You are able to balance yourself effectively, and that is what is a very important skill. The next one is active listening, another very important one. The way one can really enhance and improve on active listening is just by virtue of being actively present. The fact that you are able to practice this with paraphrasing and by listening and by participating and by taking the conversation to the next level, you are in a way enhancing your active listening skills. And active listening skills has got a great role, because suppose you are in a discussion and that discussion runs for a good 45 minutes to an hour where there are multiple people participating. You haven't had the chance to speak in the initial time of the discussion. When you're listening attentively, at any point in time, the moment you speak up, you can always pick up that conversation wherever it stands. That's the real power of active listening skill. Whenever you are in any conversation, हमेशा ध्यान से सुनिए and always be attentive. Number 3 here is making eye contact. While I may have spoken about it briefly, but what's very important when it comes to eye contact is whenever you are listening to someone, you are speaking to someone, always nod and maintain eye contact. When you maintain eye contact with the speaker or with other people, it really gives them the confidence that you are actually interested in them. And the fact that you exhibit something like this, it gives a lot of importance in their mind about you. And you are really able to establish yourself, because this is a skill which is again something which can take you places, because people know that, okay, if something is given to you, your ability to connect and relate to people is extremely high. A quick example and a point for you here is a lot of times when people keep doing multitasking, if someone is talking something, someone is just busy writing or doing something else or playing with the phone or something like that, it shows that you don't really respect them in that situation. Forget about the perspective of eye contact. Eye contact is obviously not there, and that's the reason, this is really happening. So just be mindful of this. Number 4 is having control on emotions. What is extremely important is that you have to have a strong control on your emotions, because if you have strong control on your emotions, you will then be in a position to deal with even tougher situations with a lot of easygoing attitude. And that is what is extremely important. That is what organizations and people from the HR fraternity, they always look at such kind of skill set. So always have that strong control, ability to control and manage yourself. Number 5 is master the art of saying no. A lot of times people keep saying yes to everything that comes to them. Because they keep saying yes, the after effect of this is they lag behind and they are not able to devote equal time or quality time to everything that comes their way. So you got to, sit with yourself, understand where you have to say yes and where you have to say no. If you're able to balance it, you actually can become really a winner. Number 6 is exploring more across areas. Now, what I really mean by this is you got to keep developing yourself. You got to keep training yourself. And that's only possible when you keep attending a variety of training programs which can hone a variety of different skill sets like stress management, team building, time management, and you got to keep participating in a variety of competitions. So when you participate in these kind of training programs, be it problem solving, be it critical thinking, be it networking, while I may just have given some 2-3 examples here, there's so many different kind of programs that you can attend. And what is very important is every time that you participate in competitions, what you are really doing to yourself is you are challenging your comfort zone. And every time that you challenge your comfort zone, you are saying to yourself that yes, you can do it and you are better than how you were yesterday. Always look for opportunities of where you can participate within the college and outside the college as well. Extremely important. Number 7 here is working on your teamwork basics. So what I mean by this is you will always have a lot of opportunity to work with other people. And every time that you have opportunities like this where you're able to engage and work with other people, always take up this opportunity, because it gives you an opportunity to engage and understand the mindset of other people. When you engage and understand the mindset of other people, what happens is your ability to connect, understand where disagreements happen, how to deal with disagreements, how to deal with different viewpoints, different opinions, how to take everyone along, all of those things can only enhance and improve over a period of time. So always give importance to this. Collaborate with other people. Acknowledge the effort of other people. A lot of times we feel, okay, this person has done it. But you always got to acknowledge saying, okay, look at what the other person has really brought on the board. The other person has brought so many different aspects on the board because of which we have been able to do quality work. So always acknowledge and give importance to those kind of things. Number 8 here is keep your body language positive. How we really, present ourselves in professional settings and when we engage with other people is extremely important. If our body language is very casual, if you look like lazy, what really happens? People get mixed opinions, people get mixed feelings. It is like saying that without you even uttering a word, you have communicated a lot to other people, and that makes a lot of difference. People get different kind of cues and signals about your personality, so you got to be very clear about that. Number 9 is show real interest in your colleagues or friends. When you show real interest in them, you are genuinely keen to understand how they are, how they have really been doing, what are their set of challenges, how they could perform better, how can you support them, how can both of you work together on different areas. All of those things are actually signals for the other person to understand that yes, you are genuinely there to help. And number 10, the last one, is always focus on a variety of different opportunities. When you focus on variety of different opportunities, what it does is it opens up your horizon to solve problems, to be a critical thinker, which is someone who has the ability to evaluate different kind of challenges that comes your way, someone who has the ability to pick out, okay, from these available options, I'm going to go with this particular option because this option is going to help me progress better. This option appears to be one of the finest solutions. It's also going to develop your leadership skills, like the fact that you work in teams, the fact that you participate in different kind of competitions. What it does is it shapes you as an individual. It makes you really better and powerful for the future. तो हमेशा ध्यान रखिए, some of these pointers, they might look small, ऐसे देखने में लगेंगे कि यार ये छोटे छोटे पॉइंटर इससे क्या होता है, but they go very deep within you, and they really go deep to nurture you as an individual and a better professional for the future. Always, the last point is always helping others. Always be associated with a variety of social projects where you can contribute in whatever ways, time, money, effort, ideas, but always keep contributing. And finally, one bonus tip for each one of you is whatever is the challenge that needs to be nurtured, always remember treating others the same way that you would like to be treated yourself is one of the winning strategy, one of the key winning strategies. A lot of times the way we talk to other people, we don't realize how we will feel when other people talk to us in the same fashion. And with this, I would just like to close by just saying one statement: always be interesting by being interested. If you are always being interesting by being interested in others, it's going to fetch you a great deal of success in your career. I hope you enjoyed this entire episode and 10 mantras on interpersonal skills. Cheers, God bless, bye bye.